Welcome to the Partnering for Sustainability podcast. Fulfilling a future where life is on and sustainability takes top priority is simpler than you think. When we come together, join forces, and collaborate, we can achieve greatness. The time to act is now. Combined, we can realize a truly inspiring and revolutionary future.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Partnering for Sustainability podcast series, dedicated to examining the latest sustainability trends in the energy industry and the impact they are having on our business ecosystems. In this series, we're bringing together industry experts to share opinions, offer insights, and discuss how we can all work together to address the challenges around sustainability and drive real change. I am Rohan Kelkar, EVP for the Global Power Products Division, which is our low voltage division at Schneider Electric. Today, I am delighted to be joined by IDC analysts Louisa Barker and Stuart Wilson. Good to see you again, Stuart. Thank you for both making the time for us. Would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, Rohan. Yeah, with pleasure. So thank you very much for the invitation to be part of this series. And I'm really looking forward to our discussion this afternoon. So a bit about me. I'm part of IDC Europe's Technology for Sustainability and Social Impact practice. At the practice, we provide insights, data, frameworks, and other research to help technology providers and users understand how technology can contribute and help us move towards the achievement of sustainability development goals. Now, I've worked in this area of sustainability for several years now, but always from a slightly different angle, including at international financial institutions such as the World Bank, but also with some technology and innovation accelerators. So over to you, Stuart.
Thanks, Louisa, and it's great to be with you, Rohan, on today's podcast. I'm Stuart Wilson. I'm a Senior Research Director in the partnering team at IDC. I've been with IDC for 3 years now, but for the last 20 years, I've been focused on channels, partnering and ecosystem business models around the world. Part of this has always included a focus on the process of partner transformation and understanding how customers, partners and vendors working together can enable new collaboration-focused ecosystems based on co-creation to drive next-generation services and solutions that meet changing customer needs. And part of these changing customer needs have been related to sustainability. And I've been working closely with Schneider Electric on the partnerships of the future model and framework that you've created to reach out to your partner ecosystem. So looking forward to discussing that in more detail today.
Thanks, Louisa and Stuart. I want to start by discussing why sustainability is so important to organizations today and what's driving this. First of all, climate change. I think we are all not just convinced, but living in a world today where we feel the impact of the hotter summers or some of these natural disasters that are more frequent and impacting our quality of life. So one, we have to do this right. We have to do this for the future generations. And we must collectively rethink and reinvent how we do business with each other for us to be able to do this at scale. At Schneider Electric, we're doing this by partnering for sustainability, creating collaborative business ecosystems with our partners to help them decarbonize their own operations while doing this for our mutual customers. Second, let's think about the incentives, and I like to call it the carrot and the stick. So we have either government regulations or government incentives. ESG investors, so all of us have investors that are now really insisting that we do this not just as KPIs, but really on impactful, meaningful change. And the third is the generation today, our own employees, which is our employees, the millennials. They expect us to be able to go do the right things for the planet. So combine all these three, there is an incentive for companies like ours to really take this seriously. So think of decarbonization as not only good for the planet, but also good for business. Now, in order for us to decarbonize at scale, we need to make the process simple, easy to deploy, and cost effective. I like to call it, it now is no longer a green premium, it will be a brown discount. So a good example of decarbonization at scale is the ambitious microgrid project that we launched at the IMT campus in Grenoble, France, in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce of Grenoble. We delivered a technical and educational tool to transform an energy-hungry 7-building site, which is over 20,000 square meters, into a lot more sustainable one. There were technical results where 15% of the energy consumed is now provided by clean local energy sources, and the grid consumption has been reduced by as much as 30%. But what's even more important is the educational results. So IMT is educating the next generation of electricians and contractors on sustainability issues and technology, allowing them to integrate energy into their training curriculum and measure the impact of their activities and behaviors on sustainability issues and also on technology. So Luisa, how do you see companies like ours playing a role to help customers on their sustainability journey?
Thanks, Rohan, and it's really interesting to hear some tangible examples that you've given there. So the question that you ask is a really important one, and one that all technology companies should really be asking. So our IDC research shows that sustainability has become a top 3 business priority for European organizations. In other words, it's no longer just a nice to have. It's really essential for both business credibility and survival. And you just mentioned several of the drivers that are really behind and pushing this forward, from regulation, but also the macroeconomic situation in the EU, including some of the fast spend recovery funding that is coming online at the moment, but also customer, employee, as you mentioned, and investor demand is really pushing this forward. And technology is absolutely central to this and to any company's sustainability journey. In fact, nearly 50% of companies include sustainability KPIs in their technology-related requests for proposals, so into their procurement processes. And procurement is really where we see the rubber hit the road and ambition turn into these realities. So companies are clearly seeing technology as critical for supporting several of their sustainability domains and goals, from emissions monitoring and waste reduction to waste management, supply chain monitoring, energy efficiency. I could go on. And yet, and this part is really crucial, companies really vary in their level of ESG maturity. Many companies don't have some of the really foundational processes and functions in place. And we hear all the time from the companies we talk to, we just don't know where to start. And this is coming through in our research as well. For example, just over a quarter of companies are currently monitoring their carbon footprint. So clearly we have a long way to go here. And this is where partners such as Schneider Electric come in. It's important to meet these customers who are asking, where do I start, where they are, and recognize their current level of maturity and the kinds of support they'll need in this journey. Now, bringing it back to Schneider Electric and your specialization in digital automation and energy management, we found that only 35% of companies, so just over a third, have conducted comprehensive assessments of their operations to understand the impact of these on the environment. So helping these customers get a better understanding of the impact of their current operations and assets, I think, is really the most important starting point. And technology partners can help by demonstrating to customers the different use cases that can contribute to them reaching their sustainability goals. And companies will then need to create a compelling business case if this is to move forward to implement the use cases that you can help them to identify. And partners such as yourselves can help by providing some of the metrics on the potential financial and environmental ROI, but also highlighting the potential cost of inaction too, as you mentioned earlier. So some of the regulatory penalties that could be coming down the line. So now we've discussed how important sustainability is for customers, but one of the key challenges we see in enabling sustainability at speed is companies' ability to onboard partners to act on these sustainability opportunities and also to act quickly. So Rohan, I'd like to throw this back to you and really just take a moment to focus specifically on what you are doing with your partner network at Schneider Electric. So my real question to you is, how important is the role of partners in ensuring successful implementation?
Thanks, Luisa. Some of the numbers you mentioned, frankly, are quite staggering, both in terms of the amount of interest as well as the amount of preparedness. So, to me, I see this as a huge opportunity for us collectively as an industry. And I say collectively because our partners are essential to the successful implementation of our sustainability solutions. No one can successfully navigate these changes, the challenge of climate change, and we know that we've been facing this for many years. We need to work with our partners and customers in a collective journey to a net zero world, which is exactly what we are doing, for example, with your team at IDC. Let me provide a quick example of how we partner for sustainability. And this is a project we did for the Intercontinental Hotels Group, IHG, which we popularly know for the Holiday Inn brand. They have over 6,000 hotels in their system globally. So, partnering with our partner Arup, we worked with IHG to analyze, model, and calculate the optimum path to making their existing hotels net zero. Arup led the modeling of the passive components, such as insulation, glass, so on and so forth. So this is a comprehensive solution. Schneider led the active components, electrical, mechanical controls, and so on and so forth. Then we engaged Gleeds, a cost consultant, to help us calculate the financials. And based on the findings of this collaboration with our partners, IHG created their global decarbonization strategy and is now the sustainability leader for their industry. So what they did is not only differentiate themselves, but also created a cost-effective solution. So it's a win-win both ways. So Stuart, we have discussed a large amount of fast-paced EU recovery funding related to sustainability, as well as the high level of demand from customers. How do partners grasp this sustainability opportunity?
I think the most important thing for partners to do is to really start to think deeply about this link between sustainability and the business benefits it can offer to their customers. The two can be closely coupled, and by focusing on that alignment, you create this compelling business logic for customers, partners, and vendors such as Schneider Electric to bring about real change by working together. What we've seen in recent years is technology advances have opened up these new opportunities for partners to add value to infrastructure and buildings by embracing digital capabilities that enhance customers' sustainability credentials. Customer relationships can now be related to efficiency and sustainability goals with a focus on intelligent power infrastructure and IoT solutions. And we're seeing this at a global level. We're seeing this growing focus on sustainability. Global corporations are spreading the message worldwide as they look to meet sustainability goals across their entire operation in all countries. We're reaching a stage in some regions where the majority of customers are incorporating sustainability metrics into their RFPs. Louise has mentioned some statistics from Europe, but it's important to point out that these trends are increasingly being mirrored on a global basis as well. I'm thinking about a recent prediction by our local IDC team in India that said that by 2024, 40% of Indian digital infrastructure RFPs will require vendors to prove progress on ESG initiatives. This is a global trend. What's happening at a customer level? CIOs are increasingly looking to rely on partners to help them meet their ESG goals. The message to partners is really to deepen their understanding of how important sustainability is to each of their clients and map out an engagement strategy accordingly. Make sure you're hitting the buttons that matter most to your customers. There are many reasons why a partner should now increase their focus on sustainability. We've mentioned RFPs several times. We've mentioned the regulatory environment, but we also need to focus on the fact that it's a business opportunity for partners. And it's also an opportunity to provide more efficient infrastructure within customer environments. Now, obviously, I've been working with Schneider Electric on Partner of the Future for some time now, looking at some of these issues. Schneider Electric is ahead of the curve in helping partners down this path. Rohan, my question to you is, what is Schneider Electric doing to accelerate the ability of partners to embed sustainability in their offering, solutions, and customer-facing messaging? How do they make it real for customers, and what successes have you seen to date?
Thanks, Stuart. And clearly, it's a pretty big challenge. Through our Partnering for Sustainability program, we are teaming with partners worldwide to enable sustainable practices and decarbonize their economies. As part of our business ecosystem, partners can exchange ideas with fellow partners, educate and upskill their employees, equip themselves to deliver best-in-class sustainability solutions for their customers. So really, this becomes a sharing of ideas. No one company, OEM, partner has all the best ideas. It's really, we can all learn together. We help our partners future-proof their business with simplified products and solutions, an open partner program, and open architectures. This is equally critical. In some cases, they may choose to use competitor technology, and that's okay, as long as it's able to deliver the right cost profile at scale. The digital tools needed to drive the digital transformation. So IoT has made a lot of progress along the way, and that can be used to drive the transformation of the partner operations and for their customers. Our open business platform, which is the Schneider Electric Exchange, helps bring experts and peers together in a digital ecosystem that allows them to share ideas, solutions, skills, offers, and business opportunities. Our architectures, which traditionally have been focused on really driving safety and cost, are now also factoring in decarbonization. So a partner can really do the evaluation of what will be the effect of adopting a certain architecture, not only on their safety and cost, but also on their decarbonization journey. We are working not only with partners on the hardware side, but also with software platforms to really be able to go drive and model and simulate some of these, starting all the way from your source of power generation. So we use the McKinsey framework, and really understand the wing-to-wing impact of decarbonization that our partners can help our end users, and together we can help really drive decarbonization for the economy as a whole. Now, my question to you, the IDC team, is the local ecosystem of regional and local capabilities and skills is critical to the success and sustainability of projects and initiatives. So what do you see are the latest trends and actions that IDC is seeing across the industries, and what should we all do as part of this ecosystem on this particular topic?
I think what we're seeing is that sustainability continues to gain ground across the wider partner ecosystem, and more of the partner community is actively engaged in sustainability initiatives. And I think when you're talking about the local ecosystem, it's really important to understand that the partners are that first point of contact for many customers and their sustainability questions. Customers may not have the skills in-house, so one of their first ports of call will be the partners to see if they have the skills and expertise that can help the customer on their journey. We know that customers are asking for guidance on sustainability. We've mentioned the RFPs as well. Within the wider partner ecosystem, we're also seeing partners understand the benefits that sustainability can bring to their own business. And by that I mean it's an opportunity for a partner to differentiate themselves in what can sometimes be a very competitive environment by building these additional capabilities, skills and offerings. It can also lead to advancement in vendor programs. For example, a partner highly skilled in sustainability can enjoy enhanced visibility and also benefits from vendors such as Schneider Electric. And it's also an opportunity for partners to show that they can drive these measurable customer outcomes. They can demonstrate the value to customers. And also for partners, there are reputational benefits and efficiency gains as well within their own organization related to sustainability. We mentioned earlier that many investment decisions are taken looking at the ESG credentials of an organization. So this may also have a positive impact on partner valuation. There's a lot of M&A happening in the partner space, so that's also an important one for partners too. And it may also have a positive impact in terms of a partner's ability to recruit talent, to actually access the best human capital, because many of the younger generation want to work for an organization that is actually walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to sustainability. And there's also the opportunity for increased joint engagement with vendors such as Schneider Electric as well. And when I look at your partner ecosystem in Schneider Electric, I know there are hundreds of thousands of partners around the globe, from specifiers to panel builders, designers, contractors, SIs, IT partners. I know I've probably missed a few categories there, but within that wide ecosystem, there is additional value that can be unlocked by enhanced partner-to-partner collaboration. And this means partners really looking at their own organization, understanding where their strengths lie, but working with other partners to access external expertise where necessary to create solutions. This is all about maximizing the utilization of resources within the wider partner ecosystem. And one way for this to happen is for partners to align around specific narratives such as sustainability, but link these narratives and value propositions to tangible business benefits for customers. Make it real for customers. Spell out how sustainability can help from a top line perspective, a bottom line perspective, and also help them meet their regulatory requirements as well. It's really about accelerating that process of partner to partner collaboration, and Schneider Electric has a role to play in helping the wider partner ecosystem see that opportunity. We're running a partner survey at the moment across EMEA, Europe, Middle East and Africa, and partners are telling us that the importance of sustainability to the customers they serve continues to grow. The preliminary data from that survey indicates that over half of partners now claim that sustainability credentials are a critical or very important consideration for customers in terms of their procurement decisions. This is a trend that's continuing to accelerate and grow.
You've both raised some really interesting points there. And I'd just like to build a bit on what you've said and add to this discussion on skills and capacity. So as we mentioned earlier, building regional and local capabilities is key, and these sustainability challenges cannot be resolved by one company alone. So when partners and service providers are working with their customers to implement sustainability solutions, they should form a close working relationship that enables a transfer of both technical and sustainable skills. And we're really seeing the need for this in our research. We see that a third of companies across Europe see a lack of sustainability expertise and capabilities as one of the main challenges preventing them from becoming a more sustainable business. So this is a really significant sticking point for customers that partners can assist with. It's important that customers understand the potential impact that products and services can have on their company and how they can get the most from them. Not only will this create stronger sustainability outcomes, but down the line, partners that invest time in their customers will also or are more likely to develop these longer term relationships. Now, Rohan, I have another question that I wanted to ask you. We've discussed a lot of the opportunities today, but what would you say are Schneider Electric and your partners' biggest challenges regarding sustainability at the moment?
Louisa and Stuart, I want to thank you both for the work you and IDC have done to really educate the importance of this particular topic, and we are seeing the impact of that. So in the past, the biggest question probably would have been, what's in it for me? I don't see that a lot now, thanks to the work done by folks like you. The biggest challenge we see today is a mindset that they want to do it alone, right? And as we've said many times, this is a challenge that is too big for any one of us to try and solve it by ourselves. So when they think of decarbonization, they understand the importance. First, they want to do it alone, or we want to try to go alone. And then they think of it as it's not a business opportunity, it's cost. And with the advances in technology that we see with the architectures and all the things we talked about, it doesn't necessarily mean that for you to be sustainable is going to make it difficult and more expensive if we do it right. But we have to do it right as a partnership and not as a go it alone. Now, while the challenges of climate change can be overwhelming, everyone has a role to play, and if we all work together, we can solve it piece by piece. By teaming with Schneider Electric and other professional colleagues, our partners can make a difference right now, differentiate themselves for themselves, and also really help their customers. So by adopting sustainable practices in their own operations, let's say you call it walking the talk, partners can set their business apart and position themselves as a sustainability leader in their marketplace. So let me give you one last example, which is Duke Energy Renewables in the United States, where they teamed up with Schneider Electric in an innovative approach to increasing resilience at 2 public facilities in Montgomery County in Maryland. There was a devastating storm which really drove a lot of impact, and it became clear that a microgrid was critical to drive the resiliency of that county. Duke and Schneider partnered to install these microgrids at the county's public safety headquarters and their correctional facility, and increased their resilience, upgraded their infrastructure, and really helped at the same time drive sustainability without any upfront capital investment. So the second part that is important here is we were able to partner, and I call it a public-private partnership, together with our folks at Alpha Structure to really make this into a energy as a service project where the county itself didn't have to put a tremendous amount of capital upstream, but they're able to go monetize that or amortize that as they move forward with use. So this is just one example of the business opportunities, not just on the technology side, not just on the architecture side, but also on the financing side, which working with partners across the ecosystem, we can really build this. And the partners can pursue this together with Schneider for solutions that I said again, simplified, open, and digital. So listen, I can't believe we're already at the end of our time today. It's really flown by. I want to really thank both of you. It's been great speaking to you about this important topic. I think we can all agree that to scale sustainability and decarbonization initiatives and to meet this really exponential demand, it's critical to build and nurture a strong local as well as regional partner ecosystem. Louisa and Stuart, I really want to thank you both for your insights that you have shared today. It's really been a pleasure. I'd also like to thank all the listeners that have tuned in for this episode of the Partnering for Sustainability podcast series. Thank you very much.
This has been our Partnering for Sustainability podcast, brought to you by Schneider Electric. If you enjoyed this episode, you can listen to more, subscribe, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. The content of this podcast is for information purposes only and should not be undertaken as financial, economic, legal, business, tax, or investment advice. The information, statements, views, and opinions should not be construed as the provision of advice by Schneider Electric, or as an offer to buy or sell any products or services, or to make or consider any investment or course of action.